our final weekend preview of the season. Jimmy Conrad joins me for a huge preview, a top four race in the Premier League, as well as Serie A title race still in La Liga, and of course, Liga. We also go to the Bundesliga to see who will stay in the top flight, as well as the Americas, MLS, Liguilla, and so much more. Our final weekend preview, but let me tell you, it's a big one. Qué Golazo begins right now. What's up, everybody? Welcome to our final weekend preview of the season. Doesn't mean it's the end of Qué Golazo. It just means it's the last weekend preview as the schedule changes a little bit after domestic competition ends. But of course, with me as always, Jimmy Conrad. Jimmy, what's up, man?
What's up, Luis Miguel Echegaray? What's up, everybody listening? I'm excited. We're here to the finish line of so many different leagues. And to say I just said I'm excited. For me to say it again would be an overstatement, an understatement. I don't know. It's one of the statements, Luis. That's how excited I am. I can't even make sense at the moment.
You can't make sense, Jimmy, because you're so excited, which is fine, right? And there's so much in your brain as there is in mine, because we got
too much.
Listen, everybody, before we begin taping, before we press record, Jimmy and I are always like, all right, what are we going to talk about? And today is like, oh my God, let's just let it ride. Because seriously, there's so much to discuss. But Jimmy, obviously, we will focus in Europe, Serie A, Liga, Spain, of course, La Liga, but we begin in the Premier League. Sunday, the final match day of the season. The relegation is set. We know who's going down. The champion, we know who the winner is, Manchester City. And now it's all about Europe, the Champions League spots, and of course, Europa League and the Conference League. Let's begin in the top four. Jimmy Conrad as Liverpool in the driver's seat. Unbelievable. Looking into the final day of the season, and they have plenty to look ahead to. Do we begin there as they host Crystal Palace, Jimmy Conrad?
Yes. So I put together a little cheat sheet for everybody who will play in next season's Champions League. Okay. We know that both Manchester clubs are in, and then it's going to be two of either Chelsea, Liverpool, and Leicester, which you just explained. Now, what do Chelsea, Liverpool, and Leicester need? Okay. Let's just get everybody some context. A win at Aston Villa would guarantee Chelsea third place. Not going to be easy to do so. Liverpool at home to Crystal Palace are fourth and level on points with Leicester, but with a greater goal difference. Okay. So that would help secure that for them. So to secure fourth, Leicester must take more points than Liverpool or win at home to Tottenham by a margin of 4 goals greater than Liverpool achieve against Palace. You never know. And then so Leicester and Liverpool have each scored 66 times, which is pretty crazy. So Leicester would also qualify if they win and Chelsea draw or lose. Okay, so the next question, what if Chelsea finish fifth and win the Champions League? Then Chelsea would also get a place in the Champions League group stage, and the Premier League would have 5 representatives in the tournament, which means they'd only have 1 Europa League representative. So I just wanted to get everybody caught up on that. Also, whoever finished 7th in the Premier League then qualifies for the first ever Europa Conference League, which is the 3rd tier of European football, as they say. And there are a couple teams that are vying for that, which include Everton and Tottenham and Arsenal. Arsenal have an outside chance on this, which is pretty crazy. So I just wanted to give everybody some context. Liverpool beat Crystal Palace 7-0 earlier in the season. They're playing at home with everything to play for. Crystal Palace have absolutely 0 to play for. I like Liverpool to do the business there. The Leicester-Tottenham game, though, is crazy because, as I said, both of those teams have something to play for. Oh, dude, that's a hard one. But I do think that Tottenham are a dumpster fire at the moment. And I think Leicester are going to do it. I think that they have their backs against the wall. They're going to win. That said, if Leicester win and so do Chelsea and Liverpool, it doesn't matter. They're still going to finish in 5th in the Europa League. So the Chelsea-Aston Villa game, though, I don't know if we're going to see a draw, or I don't think there's going to be a draw in one of these 3 games, I think. And I don't think it's going to be the Liverpool-Crystal Palace game. So I wanted to get your thoughts because, we can take deeper dives into some things. I will say there's one other story of intrigue before I throw it back to you, LME. It's Arsenal has a chance if they beat Brighton, and if Tottenham lose to Leicester, more than possible, and Everton lose to Manchester City, more than possible, that Arsenal could finish in 7th and get the Conference League spot and leapfrog over their hated rivals Spurs. And that would be a really good end to the season. They have won 4 straight games in the Premier League, Brighton are coming off a 3-2 win, though, against Manchester City. And that was only the first time in like a year and a half or 2 years that Man City have given up a 2-goal lead. And I know they were down a man, but still pretty good. I mean, Brighton will come in with some confidence against Arsenal, so they're not going to be like just going to roll over. So I don't know. I'm throwing it back to you because there's a lot to unpack there. And ultimately, and I wrote it on a sign behind me, so if you guys are watching on YouTube, and I'll read it to you, it says, winning solves everything, so be a winner. You know? And that's it. What else is there? Winning solves everything, so be a winner.
There is nothing left. You just gave me so much information. I feel like John Nash in A Beautiful Mind. I'm trying to figure everything out right now. I believe that. Okay. Well, sorry, let's talk about.
I left out West Ham. They just need a draw.
Well, that's where I
draw, and they'll finish in 5th.
That's where I was going with. Regardless, West Ham, Europe. I mean, looking good for it, for sure. And the fact that they're actually going to end up above Arsenal, no matter what, is pretty amazing. I think it's for the first time in Premier League history that that's happened. So there's that. But let's focus on the Champions League spots, the top 4. Okay, Liverpool against Crystal Palace. I believe Liverpool will win that. They have to. They're at home, nothing to play for Palace. The send-off has already been done for Roy Hodgson, so it's really about Palace thinking about the summer and rebuilding who the manager will come in. This is a must-win. In terms of Jurgen Klopp's mentality, he wants to win at Anfield in front of the fans, etc. I see a win there. Leicester City, Tottenham. Yep. To your point about being a dumpster fire, the Villa game, when Villa played Tottenham, I saw nothing of Tottenham in that game. Honestly, Villa were controlling the game. After they conceded, there was nothing. There's clear frustration, not just with Harry Kane, but with the squad. There's so much that needs to happen there. Again, the crowd narrative, Jimmy, really takes a center stage here. I feel like Leicester City, after losing to Chelsea but winning the FA Cup, Brendan Rodgers wants to make sure that at the very least, no matter what happens, they got to win. So at least, even if they don't get a Champions League spot, at least they did their bit. At least they did their part. Mm-hmm. And I just feel that they will try and take advantage of that. So I see a win for Leicester City there. Chelsea Villa. Every time I think about these games, I have to take away the heart for a second. This is Villa's first game with fans as well. And even though this narrative about nothing to play for, I wouldn't necessarily completely discount Villa in this game. But this is a very big game for Chelsea. I don't know exactly what will happen. Do I think maybe all of them will win? And then no matter what happens, we just stay with the 4 that we see already? Or do we see a draw in that Villa game? I'm still pondering. So, Jimmy, give me your thoughts as I still think about this, because I don't know. I don't know where it's coming from. Maybe it's my heart telling me that Villa will get something out of this Chelsea game, but maybe not. Maybe I'm being naive and Chelsea would take 3 points just because it's that important.
All right, I'll start with this game. Aston Villa just ended a 3-game winless streak, okay, with a 2-1 win over the dumpster fire known as Tottenham Hotspur at the moment. Dean Smith's side, fantastic, by the way. We don't really talk about him being manager of the year, but he probably deserves some respect. And I say that because even though they're locked into 11th place, no matter what happens, I feel like that position is a little bit deceiving, because had Jack Grealish not missed 12 games due to injury, which is almost a third of the season, then I honestly think Villa would be pushing for a European spot. I really do. That's how important. And I mean, when he comes back into the team, they win. Even before that, Jimmy, sorry to interrupt, but even before Jack, people forget that Villa also went through their own COVID situation as well. So, I mean, there's just so many, but go ahead. Absolutely. Jack Grealish absence for so many games was massive. So I think a big winner of this particular weekend could be Man City, because they get to rest players a week out from the Champions League final, or elected to rest players, right? You have that option. Whereas
they can put Sergio Aguero in goal, Jimmy.
They could if they wanted to, and kind of mirror what River Plate did in the Copa Libertadores, and still won, by the way. But I'll say that Chelsea don't have that luxury. And Thomas Tuchel probably, even though I guess N'Golo Kante is back to training, and he was very took great precautions to pull himself out of their previous game to make sure against Leicester so that he would be healthy for the Champions League final. I don't think they're going to risk N'Golo Kante in this one. Other than that, though, I think they're going to roll out a very, very impressive starting lineup, because they have to go for it. And that's where I think City does potentially gain a little bit of an advantage. Of course, there's a week between this game in the finals, Champions League finals. So that I will say Chelsea have won their last 3 trips to Villa Park, but I think it'll be a tough game. Recent encounters between the two in Birmingham have been a little bit fiery, as we like to say. 5 red cards in the last 5 between these two clubs.
Baby.
However, Tuchel's unbeaten away from home in the Premier League. 6 wins, 2 draws. And obviously, he desperately needs to continue that form here. It's a tough one. I honestly could see a draw here.
Yeah. What if, Jimmy?
And Leicester pipping Chelsea once again in a big game.
What if Chelsea draw, Leicester and Liverpool win, and then it just goes down to Chelsea needing to win the Champions League final? What if Chelsea do win, Liverpool win, Leicester win, but Liverpool just win 1-0 and Leicester go all out against Tottenham?
And when they'd have to win, 5-6-0, I think I said.
I mean, listen, like we've seen crazier things before. Yeah, I'm not saying it's going to happen. All right, if you were a betting man right now, because you are a betting man, what would you say then?
Well, I'm kind of going with thanks, William Hill, for not having my bet slip up anymore. So ultimately, I had a bet slip up. I was just going to do a parlay, but I was only going with 4 teams, and this is the ones I'm going with. Leicester to win at home, okay? And then I'm going to go with West Ham to beat Southampton at home. I'm going to have Liverpool beating Crystal Palace at home. And then I am going with I'm staying away from that one.
There's going to be a draw somewhere.
I'm going to go Arsenal versus Brighton at home. Listen, that's plus 545 for all of those teams to win at home. Yes, there's probably going to be a draw in there, which is going to piss me off. I'm staying away from Aston Villa Chelsea because I could see a draw there. And I don't know about Man City Everton. I think that would be a nice one to add in there, but I think Man City's going to roll out a team that doesn't play together very often, even though they're world-class players. And I think Everton does have something to play for. They still have a chance to get into the Conference League and potentially leapfrog Tottenham in the table. So this is Everton's whole thing. Like Man City's season doesn't end with this game. They still got one more big one, obviously.
Yeah.
So I just think Leicester, if they want to have a chance, they're just going to have that urgency. Obviously, Tottenham should have it too, but they blew their chance this past week against Aston Villa. West Ham, they just need a draw. I guess that one potentially could be it, but I think they'll do enough against Southampton. Liverpool will 100% win against Crystal Palace, and that's what I'm hoping at least. And Arsenal, I think, will do the business against Brighton. I really feel like Arsenal with a chance to finish in 7th above Spurs is more than enough motivation to make that happen. I know that's a bit of a stretch. There probably is a draw in one of those 4. So take that into consideration. But I thought $5 to win 50.
Well, do 2. Do all wins and then just pick a draw wherever you want.
Yeah, well, okay. So I'll say West Ham Southampton. So that jumps up. If I say the West Ham Southampton draw, it jumps up to 1,400. So 5 to win 140.
I mean, listen, just do two slips and then
that's fair. That's fair. I like where your head's at, Luis. Yeah, I appreciate that.
I'm always trying
but I do want to stay away from Aston Villa Chelsea, even though Chelsea is the
I would stay out of that. I would stay out of that because it's a tough one, man. I don't know. I know I keep hitting on this horse, everybody, but the return of crowds in specific stadiums really means a lot. I mean, I just think that it's difficult because Chelsea's so good, as you mentioned, haven't lost away from home. But maybe Villa get just a point in this one. I don't know. I don't know. Or maybe we're putting less stock in the Leicester City one. I have no idea. I just know that one of those games, Liverpool, Palace, Chelsea at Villa, Leicester City, Tottenham, one of them is a draw. I know that much.
It's really interesting. I'm curious to see how Leicester respond in particular because they won the FA Cup, then they lost to Chelsea to drop out of the top 4. And when they moved out of the top 4, Leicester, that was the first time they've been out of the top 4 all season.
Right.
That's mind blowing. I didn't know that until I looked that up. So
yeah.
Now they have to hope. They have to win and hope. And I just think they're going to be better than Leicester. I think they just have a little bit more of an identity and obviously they know what they need to do. I think they've leaned on each other. Tottenham are all over the place. And this could be the last time we see Harry Kane play for them. Gareth Bale going back to Madrid. Maybe Ndombele doesn't even play under Ryan Mason. Is he going to want out? Or maybe he waits to see who comes in before he makes that decision. Dele Alli. I mean, there's a lot of players. This Spurs team could get blown up, by the way. So if you're a Spurs fan, maybe enjoy this group of players while you can, because I don't think it's going to be the same in a couple months.
Absolutely. All right. Let's move to Serie A. We'll take a break after Serie A because Serie A has the same narrative about the Champions League spots as well. And obviously we all know the winner as well, Inter Milan. But Serie A has a lot to play for. Okay, Juventus, who won Coppa Italia this week, they traveled to Bologna, interface Udinese, so that's fine. No worries about that. But Atalanta against AC Milan, huge game as well. And Napoli face Hellas Verona. What do you have for me?
Yeah, this is tough. I was going to do another parlay basically for each league and really talk to you about it. The Milan-Atalanta one is interesting. I think Atalanta is going to want to go
redeem themselves.
Yeah, kind of redeem themselves and not just lay down in this particular game after losing the Coppa Italia to Juve midweek. Milan, Stefano Pioli, the manager, kind of came out and said, and I quote, "If we don't qualify for the Champions League or get in the top 4, it won't be considered a failure. I've put the basis of winning in place," or not him, but like we've put the basis of winning in place. I thought that was an interesting comment. Like he's already planting a seed with the fans and the front office and ownership group.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. He's very smart, very smart.
What's interesting is if all sides win. So if Milan beat Atalanta, Atalanta's already secure. But if Milan beats Atalanta, Napoli beat Verona, and Juve beat Bologna, Juve would actually miss out. Should any of those 3 sides drop points and their rivals win, they would drop out.
Yeah, so Atalanta on 78 points, second place. Milan, third place, 76 points. Napoli, 76 as well. And Juventus, 1 point under that was 75.
Yeah, it's really crazy. So should any, the only scenario where a head-to-head decider would come into play is if either of Milan or Napoli lose and Juve draw their game, in which case Milan have lost 3-1 and won 3-0 over Juve, and therefore have the superior record and would go through. It is trickier between Napoli and Juve. Napoli beat Juve 1-0 earlier in the season, but Juve won the reverse fixture 2-1 in April. This means they both head-to-head goal difference and head-to-head points are equal. But then it would go to goal difference in the table overall, and Napoli have a superior one plus 45. Juve have plus 36. Therefore, Juve would go down.
Amazing. All right. Well,
it's crazy. It's like not talking about John Nash and
this is
Mind.
this is Rain Man now. This is Rain. This is crazy.
we switched.
Yeah, we've switched. But listen, Bologna tied against Verona 2-0. Then they lost to Genoa 2-0. Then they tied Udinese 1-0. Then they tied Fiorentina. Then they got killed by Atalanta 5-0. And they didn't. The last win was April 18th. Obviously, this is Juventus. Last time they faced each other was 2-0 to Juve. So Juve should take care of business here.
I'm going to say Juve to win. I'll put it in my parlay, Juve to win.
Okay, boom. So
I just think that they had a must-win game against Inter Milan, and they won. They had a must-win game in the Coppa Italia final against Atalanta, and they won. And they looked very good doing it. There is some type of narrative that you could say, and you could use Leicester City as an example, that after you win something like that and you feel that sense of accomplishment, there could be an emotional drop-off. But I just think there's too much at stake, and I think they'll be ready to go against a team that they should beat. So I like Juve to win. I think Napoli is going to beat Verona. They're really, really heavy favorites, even more. So
really, it's Atalanta Milan.
It is. And that's a coin flip on William Hill. Plus 155 for Atalanta to win straight up, plus 300 for the draw, and Milan plus 145.
AC Milan have only achieved 1 win in their last 11 Serie A matches against Atalanta. That was back in 2019.
Draw? You want to go draw?
What do you think?
If you put the draw in, if you have Juve winning and Napoli winning, which would put both of those two in the top 4, and a draw for Milan goes out. They go into the Europa League. That's plus 498.
Oh, my God. That would be insane. After everything for the majority of the season, or a very major part, they were leading.
I know.
Crazy.
I could see a draw there and Atalanta ruining some and breaking some hearts, but I don't think Atalanta's. I think that one's going to be really nervy. Let's go. I'm going to say a draw on that one. That'll be my parlay, everybody. I say that game will draw. I have a Milan jersey behind me if you can see me, and it's unlucky. But plus, maybe I'm jinxing them. Plus 300 for the draw there, minus 400 for Juve to win, and minus 510 for Napoli to win, which means if you're unfamiliar with these, you have to bet $500 to win 100, but if you put it in a parlay, you can get some good odds. So I'll put all those in a parlay plus 498. I'm going to do it.
Well, then that would mean Milan is out of the championship.
That's right. Sorry, Milanistas.
Yeah, sorry. Especially because I wore your new shirt yesterday in pickup, and I feel really bad. I'm sorry about that.
You just jinxed them.
Yeah, I know. But hey, we'll see what happens. All right. Well, that's it. Listen, we're going to take a break. When we come back, hey, we got plenty more, by the way, including La Liga and Liga, because the champion has not yet been decided. We'll be right back. The PGA Championship is back at the ocean course at Kiowa Island Golf Resort in South Carolina, and you won't want to miss any of the action. To keep up with all the drama, watch the PGA Championship for free on the CBS Sports app by visiting cbssports.com/PGA Championship via your Paramount Plus or TV login on a connected TV. Hey, everybody, welcome back to Qué Golazo, our weekend preview, our final weekend preview of the season. But as I mentioned, don't forget, there's plenty more to come from us. It's just going to be a little bit different after the leagues are done, at least the leagues in Europe. Jimmy Conrad, we've done the Premier League. We've done Serie A, which, by the way, next time you hear us talk about Serie A, CBS has it. Woo, baby.
Yeah, that's amazing. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's going to be great. But let's focus now on what's going to happen on the weekend. And we were talking about Sunday games. We're going to just go back a day for a second. We're going to go on Saturday because La Liga is on Saturday, everybody. Okay, so remember that. And by the way, some games here, Jimmy, as Atletico Madrid and Diego Simeone hope, Jimmy Conrad, Atletico Madrid fan, to win La Liga. Finally, they're away at Valladolid. What's going to happen, Jimmy Conrad?
I'm nervous. I'll be honest. This is a massive moment for the club, Atletico Madrid. And I think I mentioned it in a previous podcast where this is a great season for them to take advantage. It's pretty rare when you have a drop off of both Real Madrid and Barcelona to the point where you can go and win a league. And for a couple of weeks there, everybody, Atleti were trying to give the league to somebody else. They didn't have the courage or confidence to go just snatch it. They had a 12-point lead earlier in the season, and then they just couldn't score those timely goals. And Barcelona, Real Madrid, we knew they were going to come back and be part of it. But Barcelona and Real Madrid don't really want it either. Nobody's really taken two hands and grabbed it. And now, hopefully, Atleti will be the team that does that because, as you mentioned, I am an Atleti fan. I will say Real Valladolid are winless in their last 11 La Liga matches, and they sit 2 points from safety. So they need this. This is a must-win for them. That makes me a little bit more nervous because they got nothing to lose. I mean, Imagine playing against a team that if they lose, they are going down. You know, I mean, they've got that desperation. And obviously, Atleti comes in going, you know, we got everything to lose. We're in charge, but that first goal is going to be crazy. If Valladolid score that first goal, I am going to be absolutely, I'm just going to say it, shitting myself. Okay. So
desperation causes many things, and that's what Valladolid has. So you just don't know. You don't know.
Valladolid, though, don't have really anything going for them in terms of stats with regard to having any type of success against Atleti, which again continues to make me nervous. The tough one though, and the saving grace is that Real Madrid also happen to play an opponent in Villarreal who are better than Valladolid. That's first. And Villarreal are in the Europa League final, just as a reminder to everybody. And they're also competing to get into the sixth spot in the top six. They are currently seventh. They're on the outside looking in. They need to win this match or get something out of it and then hope that whoever's in front of them, Sociedad or most likely Real Betis, drop points or lose so they can take that sixth spot. It is wild. It is all popping off. But the top four have been decided. The Champions League, Sevilla and Barcelona will be joining Madrid and Atleti into the Champions League. And so really also, I just wanted to give a shout out to the bottom because Valladolid, as I said, Huesca and Elche are all those three teams. Two of them are going to go down. Eibar has already been relegated. And
shout out to Mallorca, by the way.
Yeah, Mallorca, unbelievable.
A few American owners there, Stu Holden and Steve Nash as well.
Yeah,
although
very cool.
North America.
I've been there. The last time they got promoted, I was there for their opening game against Eibar, and it was awesome. It was an incredible experience. You guys
amazing.
Go to Mallorca. It's
Mallorca is amazing.
Amazing. Rafael, if you guys are into tennis, Rafael Nadal is from Mallorca, but
Mallorca is ridiculous.
So there's just a lot to unpack here. I didn't really have. I think my heart is way too much in my way with regard to bets with regard to this. So I'm happy to do one with you, Luis, because you seem to be a neutral observer.
Well, listen, I mean, so much at stake, as you mentioned, for both teams, right? Staying in the league and winning the league. Atletico Madrid could claim their 11th title in La Liga and the second one under Simeone. It's very, very important. I just think that just because of one stat that you said, Valladolid losing 10 out of the last 11 games against Atletico, it's just, I just don't see any other outcome. The problem is that will the nerves get in the way of everything? For the sake of Atletico Madrid's fan base, I hope not. I hope that finally, after so much yo-yoing back and forth between so many changes up top and losses and draws and giving away leads and rescues, hopefully this is the moment when Simeone says, this is it. This is it. Take care of business. You don't need to worry about anybody else. Just win. And hopefully that will happen. And by the way, Real Madrid, I just think that also Zinedine Zidane's future is something to think about. They're very injury-ridden. Villarreal is in the Europa League final for a reason. They're a very good team, and they're fighting for a European spot. I don't know. I think both teams will win, and Atleti will be champion. That's how. I think it'll be nervy, but I think that will happen.
I do want to say that Villarreal come in on pretty good form, even though Real Madrid are unbeaten in their last 17 La Liga games. They were a little fortunate to beat Athletic last weekend, but Villarreal beat Real Valladolid 2-0 2 weeks ago, a week ago, and then they just beat Sevilla 4-0.
Yeah,
and I actually thought that was a really impressive performance from Villarreal, and that they're starting to find their form at exactly the right time.
4-0 against Sevilla.
Yeah. That's not easy to put 4 up against Sevilla. I think only Chelsea scored 4 against them.
Granted, there was a red card in there, but still 4-0. Then they beat Valladolid 2-0. They lost to Celta Vigo 4-2. That was a crazy game. Anyway, and before
they were already up 2-0 prior to that red card.
Yeah, and before that was the Arsenal game as well. So they had a lot to do.
Yeah, they do. And also I think it benefits them that La Liga moved this from Sunday to Saturday because it gives them an extra day of rest before the midweek Europa League final.
I will say though, and the thing that we were talking about Tuchel and Chelsea and the way that he's going to think in terms of and Man City, of course, to the Champions League final. How is Villarreal and Unai Emery going to think about this as they look ahead to the Europa League final? I wonder, because obviously it's weird because, yes, a European spot is important in the league, but winning the Europa League.
Well, yeah, puts them in the Champions League, right?
The Europa League final puts you in the Champions League final. So, I don't know. It's going to be.
No, it's interesting. It is interesting. And I think that's a great point to bring up. It's going to be popping off. And again, I can't emphasize enough how exciting it is for having multiple leagues really come down to the final season on both sides of the table, right? Up at the top, qualifying for Europe, and then also the relegation stuff. So
yeah, there's a lot going on. Well,
if you're ever going to sit down and watch a whole ton of games during the weekend, this is the weekend to do so.
Yeah, I think I'm going to get divorced by the end of summer, but it's all right. Don't worry about it. Hey, listen, we're not done. Ligue A is pop at PSG, who won Coupe de France against Monaco. Mauricio Pochettino wins a trophy with PSG, a legitimate trophy, at least Coupe de France. Now have to fight for Ligue A, but Lille is in the way, and they are the ones actually that lead the way. And that as well is on Sunday. And the standings in Ligue A, by the way, is Lille with 80 points. PSG with 79. Monaco, by the way, 77. And Lyon with 75 points in 4th spot. What do you have for me?
Oh, I mean, again, I'm going to emphasize, which should be a theme for the day, you need to win. If you win, it solves all of your problems. And Lille, big misstep last week, dropping points. They had it in their hands. It was feels very similar to Atleti. Like, you can't let the big teams hang around, because the big teams they've been in this position before. They know how to win titles. I still feel like there's a lot of clubs out there. They're on the precipice of having success, but then they don't know how to close it out. They don't know how to finish teams off. They don't know how to, and I feel like Lille, I can't believe that they drew with Saint-Étienne. Saint-Étienne's good, by the way, last week, but still, they didn't even really create that much. They hit the post at the end. Obviously, that would have changed a lot of fortunes, but they gave PSG a chance, and I wonder.
They did.
That's going to come back.
Fun fact about Saint-Étienne, their goalkeeper's called Etienne Green, and they wear green. Just thought it'd be funny, too.
No, that is funny, and I kind of want a jersey of his.
All right, well, what do you have for me? Do you have a parlay for Liga?
I wanted to talk through the parlay with you. So
all right, let's do it.
Let's do it. I think it's more enjoyable that way, and I think people get a big kick out of us not knowing what the hell we're talking about or just guessing. It's hard. I think PSG wins, so I'm going to click that.
I agree.
So and they play away to Brest. Angers versus Lille. It's just, again, it gets back to that narrative. Lille, the heavy favorites. Can they do it? I want to see them do it. Can they do it? Will they do it? It's tough. Angers is not going to just, again, I'm going to use that again, roll over.
They did beat Lille in January.
They did. Okay, so let's skip them for a second. Lyon versus Nice. What do you think? Lyon.
Yeah.
Lyon, okay.
Easy.
And then you have Lens versus Monaco. I'm trying my best here.
Yeah. No, it's fine. Lens, yeah. Against Monaco. Well, I think Niko Kovac wants to end on a high here.
After losing the Coup de France final.
Yeah. So I'll go with a win for Monaco, I think.
So we're going for a win for all the other teams, but we still haven't made a decision on Angers and Lille.
Well, there's your answer. Is there not? I really feel PSG is going to take this, which is what I told you last time we were talking about this.
So you're going with the draw?
Yeah. I think Lille's going to draw. I think PSG will take the top.
Wow.
Happy days for Marty.
Wow, that's heartbreaking.
I know. I know, but I have to be that guy. Just
so if Lille drops out, Monaco, so Lille guaranteed second, which is important because there's still a Champions
League. It's great.
So the top two in France get Champions League. The third team goes into the They go right to the group stages. Third goes into the Champions League qualifiers. Lyon or fourth would go into Europa League, and fifth would be Europa League qualifiers. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And then six will get the Conference League spot. So
that's what I'm saying about Kovac. He wants to end on a high and wants to make sure that no matter what, a spot in the Champions League or something.
Yeah, third and fourth there is actually really interesting because Lyon's only 1 point behind Monaco. Jeez. Okay, yeah, so both teams need to win. All right, let me go back to that.
The other thing that could happen, is there a head-to-head in France? Or is it goal difference?
Let me see.
Because
it goes goal difference first. Goal difference, most goals scored.
Because you could see Lille losing, PSG not getting the job done, but drawing. And
that's true. They'd still go on better goal difference.
Yeah, but I think PSG is going to win.
PSG is going to win. PSG is going to win.
All right, but you see Lille winning?
Let me see all those four it's like all the top four win pays you plus 246. That's not as exciting. But if you have them with the draw, Angers, Lille, and everybody else in the top four winning, plus 1088. I'll put $5 on that.
That's not bad.
I feel like I'm putting bad vibes out there though, because I want to see Lille.
Yeah, so both of us could not go for that. I'm just being the devil's advocate and saying that something is going to happen, and Lille is the pressure might be too much for them.
The pressure's on me. I already feel the pressure just making bets. I can only imagine what the players will be going through. But first goal obviously solves a lot of problems too. You know, we've seen it. We've seen it even in the cup finals. You score first.
It is against the narrative, though, Jimmy, because Lille have won 11 of their last 12 league away games. So they're pretty good away from home.
Yeah, it's at home that they struggle, but and that's actually a point you made about the fans.
Yeah,
so like Tottenham going back in front of the fans, I don't think they did them any favors, and I actually feel that
stadium.
I actually feel that way about West Ham.
Yeah, that was weird. But you see, because again, the Olympic Stadium, they're so far away. You can't even feel they're there. It's different. It's different in other stadiums. Stamford Bridge is like right in your face. Villa Park is like, we're right there. Tottenham's new stadium, they might as well have been like 3 miles away. Like it was just like, it doesn't make
sense. Well, they put them way up high too. But it's interesting. I feel like West Ham is a club that actually benefits from not having their fans screaming at them. I think that the fans...
I know it's because of that stadium. If it was Upton Park, maybe different. I don't know. Maybe
it feels like there's no fans in there anyway when they're playing.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. So anyway, I just wanted to throw that in there. I've been there a few times, so I know exactly what it looks like. But all right.
Well, what do you have for Liga then? Tell me.
I'll just go PSG win, Lille draw, Monaco win, and Lyon win, and that pays plus 1088. I'm going to take the risk and try to go get the value as opposed to just saying all the top four win and Lille win the title, even though I kind of want Lille to win the title.
No, I mean, and it could happen. It's just us having some fun.
We're just having a laugh, everybody. We're just having a laugh.
We're having a bubble bath. All right. Well, that's Europe. So let's finish off on anything else that's going on this weekend. Hold up a second. Before we move on, just very quickly, the championship playoffs, the second leg are this weekend as well to see who gets into the playoff final. So we have Brentford now hosting Bournemouth and Swansea hosting Barnsley. And Brentford, what is it, 1-0 down? Yeah, they're 1-0 down, Brentford, against Bournemouth. And when you look at Swansea, they did a good job as well. I'm just checking here. So many games. They are leading 1-0 at home as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, by the way, away goals don't matter in the championship playoffs. So it's just result. Doesn't matter.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
I don't know. It depends if you're a fan of the away goals.
Depends if it works to your favor or not.
That's true. Yeah, that's exactly right.
What do you see in the final? Who do you see?
It's hard.
I know your heart's going with Barnsley. I know.
Of course it is. Of course it is. The teams that are down, Brentford and Barnsley, if they don't score first, it's done. We could obviously sit here and say, oh, they got to do this or do that, and they can come back. But if they don't score that first goal and the other teams have a 2-goal lead, maybe there's a sense of desperation. But I do like Swansea and Bournemouth. They're both experienced teams. They've been in the Premier League before. The stakes are obviously very high, and there's a lot going on, and a lot of money at stake in particular.
Brentford, by the way, he was in the final last year, so
yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I feel for them if they end up getting knocked out, especially in this stage. You'd like to think.
Well, from the very beginning,
personally, I wanted Brentford and Barnsley from the get-go, and it's the opposite. I wanted to see both of them in the final, and it's looking like it might not be either one, and that breaks my heart. But
I actually see Swansea Brentford. That's what I see.
Regardless, I think Brentford's going to come back.
I just 1-0. It's not that different. It's not that tough, right?
Yeah. But that just gives Bournemouth a lot of. I mean, they can get the draw, right?
Bournemouth were very impressive, though. They were very impressive. Bournemouth. They have a lot of talent in that squad, so I wouldn't be surprised. It's anybody's game. I'm just giving you my guess.
Yeah, I don't know. It's what's interesting is that Jonathan Woodgate, he and his team, they lost 3 league games on the bounce heading into the playoffs.
Yeah.
So that wasn't a good look, but if they can just get a draw, they're through.
They're good to go.
They're good to go. And
they
one of those losses sometimes was actually to Brentford, so it's pretty funny, but
they play for draw sometimes. They're a very counter-attacking team, so
very counter-attacking. It could be kind of cool to see Jonathan Woodgate managing in the Premier League. So
wouldn't that be something? And they lost Josh King this winter, if everybody remembers as well.
That's right.
Well,
that's right.
All right. Well, that's that. Well, let's move on. North America. What's going on? Liga, MLS. Do you want to talk anything else?
Well, I did actually. We probably should mention the Bundesliga a little bit, just because at the bottom of the table, there is just a lot going down. So just so everybody knows about how the Bundesliga works, the bottom 2 are automatically relegated out of the 18. Right now, Schalke's out, even though they beat Eintracht Frankfurt. They're out. Cologne is in 17th on 30 points. Okay. Werder Bremen is on 31 points in 16th. And Arminia Bielefeld is on 32 points. That is wild. The team in 16th, which is currently Werder Bremen, they would go and face, and they did this last year. They finished 16th, and they have to play the third best team in the Bundesliga 2 over 2 legs, and whoever wins that goes up. That doesn't really feel fair to me for Bundesliga 2 because they don't have the same budget. They don't have the same type of talent, but whatever.
It happens in the Netherlands as well and some other places.
It just doesn't, it feels pretty one-sided to the better team. That said, it does happen on occasion. So we'll see if Bremen can finish in that spot, but because there's a lot at stake here. I mean, if you get 15th, you're free and clear. You don't have to do anything. You've made it. You're going to stay up the next year. You get 16th. Crap. We got to play 2 legs against a scrappy Bundesliga 2 team. You get 17th. You're going down for sure. And the fact that all 3 of those teams could be in any of those 3 positions is absolutely wild. And so if you guys are going to watch anything with regard to the Bundesliga, make sure you keep an eye on those 3 teams in particular, because it's tough. And just so everybody knows, Schalke actually plays Cologne, so they have the best chance to stay up.
Yeah, they do. They do. Well, so it's all kicking off.
It's all kicking off.
All right. Well, let's move from Germany. Thank you for that update. No, let's move to the Americas. What's going on here? Because anything MLS, of course, Liga as well. Our pick, definitely mine. Cruz Azul still doing their thing. What do you want to talk?
Yeah. So right now, Cruz Azul is Did they lose? I'm trying to see.
Well, Cruz Azul, let's see here, tied with Pachuca.
Yeah, and the last one, sorry.
In the first leg. And so they're heading into this one with a 0-0, and they're hosting the next leg.
Got it.
So Pachuca and Cruz Azul tied 0-0. And so on Saturday evening, they'll be hosting.
Yeah. Geez, I looked right past that fixture right there. So yes, you have Cruz Azul 0-0, the first one. Santos Puebla is going to be kicking off in the other. That's the other semifinal. And I mean, you got to give it up. I mean, I'm surprised that a few teams are still, like, Club America is out, Chivas is out, Monterrey is out, Tigres is out, León is out. Like, it's pretty interesting. Cruz
Azul has been the leader throughout this whole thing. They're like the favorite.
Yeah, but Cruz Azul are kind of like the Bayer Leverkusen. They Bayer Leverkusen is their nickname. Like they always do well, but they're like the Spurs of Mexico. They always, have a pretty good team, but then never get to the finish line. So that's the big thing. Will Cruz Azul once again get cursed? And
they are managed by a Peruvian, so I am.
Well, okay, then we'll lean towards that for sure.
No, I'm saying that sometimes we get really bad luck as well. So.
All right, well that doesn't.
And Yoshi Yotun is there as well, so we'll see.
And then with regard to MLS, there's obviously some great games, but I'm going to focus on the Jimmy Conrad derby, San Jose Earthquakes and Sporting Kansas City, my two favorite clubs. And yeah, I mean, after they started the season crushing, they lost the first game, they won 3 straight. San Jose, their Quakes had a bit of a reality check because they faced Portland Timbers. They lost at home, and they played Seattle Sounders, who are the best team right now in MLS at home as well. So back-to-back home defeats, not a good look. They got a home one again against Sporting Kansas City. SKC didn't start the season very well, but they had a very comprehensive, emphatic 3-0 win over the Vancouver Whitecaps. One of those ones that I feel like as a fan, if you're a fan of any team and your team finally kicks somebody else's ass, you're like, finally, everything went right for us that game. And Sporting Kansas City had that one right before this. So I like SKC to potentially do it. But I really like what San Jose is doing. Matias Almeida, I'm a fan of him as a manager, the Argentine, and they got Cade Cowell, one of the best young players in MLS, and Chris Wondolowski. They got a lot of fun narratives. But yes, I obviously have my eyes on the Jimmy Conrad derby this week.
Love it. I love it. Well, that's it, everybody. That's our weekend preview, our final weekend preview. But guess what? After this, of course, next week, crazy, Jimmy, Europa League preview, Champions League final preview. There's so much still to come from us, including international competition. Final thoughts, my friend, as we say goodbye.
What's interesting is I think we're probably just going to lay down on the ground after this season because it's been absolutely wild. But we have to pick ourselves up quite quickly because of next week, 2 massive finals. And then right after that, the summer starts to kick in and national teams start to kick in. And I mean, the fact that we have the Euros, the Copa America, the Gold Cup, the Olympics, I am thrilled. I mean, NWSL still be going on. MLS still going on. Liga MX will end up kicking back in again. I mean,
we don't stop, baby. This game doesn't
stop. It doesn't stop. This podcast doesn't stop. And I love that because I love spending time with you, LME, and all of our listeners as well, as we continue to grow and add more people to our family. It's a great community we got here.
Here. I concur. I love doing this with you. Thank you so much, everybody. You keep supporting us, so keep being with us. Keep spreading the word. Tweet us, by the way, as well. Plenty. We want to hear from you, Jimmy Conrad, on Twitter and Instagram as well. Jimmy Conrad, always a pleasure. Believe is what he says. Believe is what you need to do and win. Win. Get it done. Right?
Winning solves everything. Winning solves everything. So go be a winner today, everybody.
Absolutely. Jimmy Conrad, thank you so much, brother.
Thanks, Elmi.
Hey, everybody. I want to thank Jimmy Conrad for joining me today, and I want to thank you for being part of our weekend preview team. We got plenty more to come, including the Europa League final previews, Champions League final, and so much more. Make sure that you follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher. Make sure that you follow us as well on Twitter, Qué Golazo Pod. We're on YouTube, youtube.com/Qué Golazo, CBSSports.com, CBS Sports app. Have a great weekend.